30 years ago, legendary director Steven Spielberg made one of the most iconic films ever made. That film was Jurassic Park. 30 years later, Colin Trevorrow would make the finale to that once great franchise and end it in one of the most disappointing ways ever. Let's just get into the review. I guess. To me, I think that the entire Jurassic World trilogy is kind of disappointing. And if I'm being perfectly honest, the only good movie in the whole Jurassic Park franchise is the first one. But they made Jurassic World, and that was fine. The problem with the franchise, in my opinion, has to do with one man. And that man is Colin Trevorrow. Colin Trevorrow started this trilogy off with an interesting story, but uninteresting characters. These characters show up in the new Jurassic World movie, Jurassic World Dominion. Because, the movies are about them, so yeah, no shit, I guess. Chris Pratt's character is so generic, I don't even remember his name. I think it's Owen Gravy, I want to say, or something like that. Bryce Dallas Howard's character is kind of interesting, but she has literally nothing to do in this movie. I will say though, Bryce Dallas Howard looks amazing in this movie. She should lose the Chris Pratt character and get with your boy, if you know what I mean. Yeah, but even the old characters who make their grand return in this movie are just kind of boring and uninteresting. Don't get me wrong, it is cool to see them come back, but they barely did anything in this movie. This movie just has too much going on and yet nothing going on at the same time. So many plots are spread out across the movie and then they intersect at the end, and it's just all super terribly paced. This kind of leads me to the story, and this story is really dumb. If you just think about it for just 1 second, you can just see how dumb it is. Okay, for those who don't know, the last Jurassic World movie ended with this dumbass kid letting all the dinos into the world because they were clones. Just like her. Now, if you're me, your first thought might be, wouldn't that cause an economic disaster with all those dinos eating all the animals on the planet and, also eating us, I guess? In this movie, though, that doesn't happen. Weirdly enough, for a movie called Jurassic World, this movie doesn't actually have much to do with dinosaurs. Basically, the main thing that is affecting the world is not the dinos running around the earth, eating people. It's just a bunch of bugs that were created by a big corporation, and all these bugs are eating everyone's crops and taking all the food that people grow. See, it's not the dangerous dinos that are the problem in this movie. It's just a bunch of bugs. Big old gross bugs. But they won't kill the dinosaurs because that would be like animal cruelty. Obviously, that's animal cruelty, right? But they can kill a bunch of bugs because bugs are gross and icky. Going into the movie, I really thought that this was going to be a movie about the little girl realizing that she made a huge mistake by letting the dinos loose, because in doing so, she probably killed a lot of people. I thought the movie was going to be the realization that dinosaurs were extinct for a reason, and the characters would have to go on a journey to eliminate them all. But instead, it's just a confusing mess where Chris Pratt has to get an old raptor, his old raptor buddy's baby raptor back. Dr. Grant and Dr. Sadler have to go prove the bugs were made by a big bad science company. BD Wong has to fix the big bug problem, and Bryce Dallas Howard has to get her daughter back. Somehow, eventually, all these stories come together, and we get 30 minutes where every character is together, and I have to say, that is the best 30 minutes of the movie. In the last 30 minutes of this movie, new characters are interacting with old characters, and it's just really, really fun. I kind of just wish the whole movie was like that. I'm just kind of disappointed that this movie about dinosaurs is just a movie about bugs, and it leaves this once great franchise with a disappointing ending. I was expecting something with a little more finality to it, This really just feels like another Jurassic World movie to me, and it really sucks. So yeah, the story is bad, but let's bring it back to Colin Trevorrow for a quick sec. I don't think I've ever really liked the style of Colin Trevorrow. His movies are either boring or they're just straight up bad. Colin Trevorrow reminds me of John Watts in a lot of ways. Small-time indie director gets big franchise. The only difference is that John Watts actually learns from his mistakes that he makes, and in the Spider-Man trilogy, he made a couple mistakes for sure, but he takes those and makes them lessons and improves himself with every new project. Trevorrow just keeps doing the same shit. None of the shots that he does in any of his movies are very interesting, and I think that trend continues with Jurassic World Dominion. I do appreciate how he used more practical effects this time around, but still, some of his shots are just so bland and boring. I think it is definitely shot better than the original Jurassic World because, good lord, that one has such basic shots. In Jurassic World Dominion, every now and then he tries to do something interesting that catches your eye, but as soon as you see it, it immediately goes back to being basic immediately after the amazing shot. I think that a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's just not lit very well. Some of the lighting, especially early on in the movie, it's just kind of like boring, basic, and that goes for like the first Jurassic World too. It's just kind of like gray and gross. By the end of Jurassic World Dominion, that gets a lot better and it gets a lot more cooler with the colors, but for a lot of it, it is just kind of just basic coloring, I guess. I appreciate that he has clearly put some more effort into this one, but it just still doesn't stand out visually to me. I think it is pretty clear that Colin Trevorrow should not have been the guy to start this trilogy. Imagine if someone like Sam Raimi made a Jurassic World trilogy. That shit would have been so scary and cool. I would have fucked hard with Sam Raimi Jurassic World movie. But instead, we got Trevorrow, which led to a boring sequel trilogy to one of the most well-known iconic franchises of all time. And to finish off his trilogy, Colin decided to give us one of the most disappointing endings to a once great franchise. Okay, listen, I don't hate Colin Trevorrow. I'm sorry if it feels like I'm dogging on him right now. I'm just really disappointed right now. It's so sad to say that one of the best things Colin Trevorrow has ever made is that Star Wars Episode 9 script that he actually never got to make. I'm really let down by this new Jurassic World movie. I'm really, really disappointed. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to give Jurassic World Dominion a 3.5 out of 10. There are some bright spots here and there, but really it's just a dinosaur movie about bugs. Should have called it Bug World. Gotta kill those bugs. Jurassic World Dominion could have been the epic conclusion that it was marketed as, but unfortunately Colin Trevorrow really dropped the ball with this one. So that was the review. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Genuinely, thank you so much for 30 subscribers. That's pretty awesome. I said I wanted to hit 30 before the end of June, and it's not even mid-June yet, and we already did it. Awesome. Awesome. I think the next goal is probably 35 by mid-August. 35 subscribers by mid-August. Could we do it? I don't know. I want to do it. So yeah, like, subscribe, and remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay sexy. Okay. Bye.